I'm Jared Stein. I'm Director of the Innovation Center with Distance Education. We're formerly known as the Technology Enhanced Teaching Center. So you're probably recognizing these guys next to me. Mark Hugentobler, Assistant Director, and Carlos Delarco. In a little bit, we're going to invite some of your colleagues up to share some of the things that they've been doing with Canvas. So today we're going to talk about Canvas. It is the new learning management system. It's available to everybody this semester. Right now, you can go into Canvas, see all of your courses, and all of your students will be synced from Banner. If you're not comfortable moving to Canvas yet, that's okay. Blackboard is still around, but Blackboard is going away at the end of December. So this fall is the last chance you'll have to use and appreciate Blackboard.
So get it while you can.
Get it while you can. Now, not everybody is happy that we're moving from Blackboard to Canvas. Some people are a little bit afraid of the change.
If you've been using Blackboard and you're worried about it, there's no reason for that, because all of the core functionality that you've become accustomed to or that you like is still there in Canvas. We've got all these tools based on the fundamental interactions that you want to have between you and your students and their fellow students are all still there. And even more, you'll have some enhanced functionality that I think you'll like and that we'll talk about as we go forth in the presentation.
Yeah, we're going to show you a little bit of that today. Now, we think the best way for you all to get training on Canvas is in a hands-on scenario. This isn't exactly ideal, but we're going to give you kind of a bare bones overview that highlights some of the best features of Canvas and should give you enough orientation so that, if you're daring, you can go out and start on your own, or you can just come into the lab and get some more help.
This is a dangerous middle ground, right? Everybody's standing on the fence. So what I've recommended to instructors to do if they are using Canvas, go into their Blackboard course, don't enable anything, just say, I'm using Canvas, put a link to Canvas there, and that will direct them to the proper place.
We're going to role play a little bit here. Mark is going to be the teacher. Carlos is going to help us out and be the student as we work through some real common and basic things in Canvas. Now, Mark has gone to learn-uvu.uen.org. And it looks really familiar. It is your standard UV-Link login screen.
So when I first come in, you'll notice right away that things don't look quite like you might expect, which is okay, right? So the very first thing that you'll see when you come into Canvas is what's called the course stream or the activity stream. And that is all of the things that have been changed since you were recently. And so you can look through those things, and as you scroll down and you investigate what's going on, you could link to any of these things and just go in there. There's two lists that will show up on the side of the screen, on the right side of the screen, and that is the to-do list, any date-based activities that are happening this week will show up in your to-do list. That happens for everybody. For instructors, it'll be stuff like you need to grade this, or you need to look at these quizzes, or whatever it is. And for students, it'll be, well, you need to turn in your assignments, or you need to go look at this discussion, etc. So it's relative to who you are, but it is there for everybody. Likewise, for coming up, those are date-based events in the course, all the courses, that are happening next week. So you get this kind of constant reminder of all the things that need to be done. And so that's kind of going to keep everybody engaged in what's happening in their course.
Yeah, this is an example of how Canvas really does a great job of connecting students and teachers with the activities in the course. Another way that will help them stay on top of this is through the global calendar. Each course that you have can have any number of assignments with associated due dates. The global calendar in Canvas is going to show any upcoming due dates for any of the courses that students may be enrolled in, or for you as a teacher that you may be teaching. You can add new events from this screen. Students can add their own personal reminders. If you want to use a different calendaring tool like Outlook, this actually produces a feed that you can bring into your Outlook calendar as well, or Google Calendar, a whole lot of different calendars.
If we click on Profile, this is where your personal information is basically situated in Canvas. Now, the great thing about Canvas is you can actually add separate emails. If we look down there under email addresses, by default it links to your main UVU account, but below that you can actually add any other email. And you can also add a phone number for text messages if you wish to receive notifications from Canvas to your phone. Below that, there's also some web services you can connect to, things like Google Docs, Twitter, Facebook, etc., that your teacher may or may not use.
Yeah, I think a lot of students are really going to like that Canvas can send notifications not only to their personal email account, but to their Facebook or Twitter accounts as well. One thing that you've got to do in Canvas is tell it when and how you want it to notify you about certain course events. From Profiles, you simply click on Notifications on the left. And here you'll see a long string of different kinds of course activities, and you can choose what method you want Canvas to notify you through and how often you want those notifications to come. For example, if you're a student and you want to be emailed every time a due date is changed, you can do that here. You can change that here. If you want to get, let's say, a text message, if a new assignment comes in, you can change that as well. So you have full control over how Canvas notifies you and how often.
One of the things that I think is cool about it is that the person chooses what method they want to be communicated or what used to communicate, and then how often. So the likelihood is that that's the thing they're going to check, right? So we're all engaged in what we're doing. So it's, every time they see that, they're going to probably check back in.
This semester, I was using Canvas. So I have a project that's due at the end of the first week. Come Saturday, I go into Canvas, I'm doing my grading. I notice that 5 students haven't turned it in. So I just give them a 0, right? But what Canvas does is it automatically notifies those students that they have a new grade and that it's a 0. So honestly, within 2 hours, all 5 of those students had contacted me, said, "Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Stein, I forgot. Oh, I didn't know it was due today. Could I still turn it in?" Well, for me, yeah, of course. I mean, a misunderstanding is no problem. Canvas's notifications might well have kept those students in the course, right? By helping them stay on top of it and letting both of us know that there was a problem with that project. Well, let's go into a course now, Mark, and take a look around.
One thing you'll notice is that courses, they don't show up as they usually. Since you don't see your traditional list of courses, you mouse over courses right here and you'll see all the courses that you are enrolled in, right? So I'm going to go into this one. The default course homepage, it's the course stream for this one individual course. Again, relative to whoever your level is in whatever course. So as an instructor, you'll see things relevant to that. As a student, you'll see things relative to that. And so I can see that some people have turned in some assignments here. Also, like I said before, you'll notice that all the tools that you've come to expect are over here to the left.
Okay, so Mark, if we want to change that homepage, so maybe I just want to share my syllabus, send my students to the grade book or something. Can we change that?
Yeah, absolutely. So right above the page, there's the link. Yeah, thanks. Change homepage layout. And under change homepage layout, you have 5 separate options. So you'll be able to use any one of these options. The one that he's talking about is a page I'll design myself and update that. Okay, so this is a page that was already in there, so I can edit that page.
So maybe I want to add a link to the grade books. I want them to check the grades each week too.
So I want to do that. I could just come over here. This course navigation is a piece of my course, so I can just click there, boom, got a link to the grades right there.
Excellent. Another great feature of Canvas is that you can actually import video, or actually embed video into a page. Thank you. So you can actually put in video to make it more interesting. Obviously, most teachers have used items from YouTube or other sort of video places. We'll show you how easy it is to embed a YouTube video into a Canvas page. We just come into YouTube and drag it into the page. And then once we save it, we will be able to actually watch the video embedded. It keeps the student focused in the course and not jumping out and going into YouTube and spending 2 hours doing who knows what. And there it is. We click on the link and it's playing in the class itself.
Once it's embedded, does it stay, but if it goes off of YouTube, you lose it as well? Or is it
Yeah, it is a direct link to the YouTube video, so if YouTube takes it down for copyright reasons, you will have to find a different option. But that should be pretty obvious within the page.
Yeah, you'll see, can't display this or whatever like that. So, but you'd have that problem even if you linked out to it. But this way it's embedded right in the course. Nobody has to leave. They don't have to go somewhere else and wander around. it's right in the course, embedded in the page that you've created.
You'll find a lot of the interfaces in Canvas do allow for drag and drop. One thing we forgot to put on that homepage is a link to the syllabus file. So we better go back and do that. That's probably the most used feature of Blackboard, and it will probably be the most used feature in Canvas too, and that's the ability to share digital files like a syllabus.
So this is the most common question I got with Blackboard or anything else. How do I put my stuff in here? I don't know why people are so crazy about putting their own stuff in their own course, but they are. So if you want to, you can just come over here to the Files tab and open your course files. And all you need to do is just click on the file that you want in there. Boom, there's a link to it right there. So again, if I save changes, then it'll be a live link to my syllabus. If I were to click it, it would just open the syllabus.
Okay, so probably the next most used feature in the learning management system is the gradebook. Folks like to not only keep track of grades, but also to be able to share those with the students in a private and secure manner. So let's look at the assignments feature in Canvas, which is where you actually set up anything that you're going to score or require students to do. So here in the assignments area, you'll see that we've set up some assignment groups. We've got readings and quizzes, assignments, lab work, and class discussion. We've got this selected so that the final grade is going to be automatically weighted based on these assignment groups. So we can add any number of individual assignments to these groups. Doesn't matter how many points they're worth individually, but you'll see on the right-hand side, we've got our final grade percentage set up to have certain weights for each of these groups.
Right, the most common thing that people would, in Blackboard, would say, well, I don't want to use the gradebook because I use micrograde. So they keep all their grades in there because they want to do weighting and scheduling like that. In here, if you just set up the assignment groups, you can go ahead and do your weighting right in here, regardless of how many assignments and how many points and anything like that.
It's very, very easy to do things such as drop the lowest scores. All you have to do is for a certain assignment group, edit it and add what's called a grading rule. Then you can drop the lowest 1 score, 2 score, 10 scores, whatever was going to suit your grading scheme.
Yeah, in Blackboard, this was next to impossible. If you wanted to drop 1 score, easy. You want to drop 2, forget about it. You have to go get a PhD in math to do it.
Now in these assignment groups, we've set up some individual assignments for things that may not be graded, such as reading a chapter in a book, but we can also set up assignments for things that are graded. Of course, we can do the same kinds of online quizzes and exams that we did in Blackboard, as well as online submission of assignments. But if we just want to have another column in our gradebook, let's say so that we can create an in-class activity that we want to store some scores for, that's really easy to do. So Mark's going to add a new assignment here.
If you just want to just go in and just create things really easy, you can put in the name, you can put in the due date.
And remember, when you set a due date, that's going to automatically appear on the calendar, and it's going to populate that to-do list when it's coming up.
And how many points it's worth. And just update. Now, that's just putting the assignment in there, but there's a lot of other settings that you might want to look at. So under the more options, there's a lot of different options that you can fill out. So what Jared's talking about is, in terms of online submission, what am I going to do if I just want to say, oh, this one's on paper, that's what I'm going to collect in class, I can do that. That's going to put a column in the gradebook. Versus in Blackboard when I used to have to go in and add a column and edit it that way.
Well, let's go into the gradebook and look how we would quickly add some scores. Let's say it was an in-class activity, something that we're not really collecting anything for, or maybe we are, but we're not collecting anything online. Let's go into the gradebook, take a look at what Canvas has to offer there. So based on those assignments, it's going to automatically create our columns. And to enter scores, all Mark has to do is click on a column and start typing. He doesn't have to click update the page or save the gradebook. It's saving as soon as he's done typing.
Excellent. Well, let's have a look at it from a student perspective. From a student point of view, okay, I'm going to log in. We're seeing it right now. Look at.
Yeah, if you're a teacher, the real answer from Instructure is that you're essentially seeing the student view. If you want to simulate a student, you're going to have to get a fake student into the system.
Yeah, for most purposes, the view is quite similar. There's a couple instances where it's not, and you might want to come talk to us about that, and we can explore, what are your options.
Okay, so Carlos is in as a student. He's going to check out his grades.
So I'll go to grades here. I see my courses listed here sequentially. And again, there's a few good features that you may want to look at here. We have our grades. Apparently it's out of 20 and I got only 12, which is pretty bad. But if I want to see what my grade would have been if I would have higher score, I could actually type it in right now. And it can actually give you an approximate score. Clicking on this button down the bottom, calculate based on only graded assignments, will give you a running total for the semester. So a student can see where they are at any point of the semester, which is a great help compared to what Blackboard used to be.
Yeah, how many of you have students ask you middle of the term, what's my grade so far? What's my grade to date? Well, this gives them a good estimation. And that what if score, so students can look ahead and think, well, what do I really need to do in order to get that A? They can fill those in and get a sense of what that's going to take. Okay. Well, Mark's going to show us real quickly what it's like to grade in Canvas. And this is one of my favorite features. Canvas has built what's called the speed grader. And so he can access from the to-do list or by going into the assignments, any assignments that have some submissions for him to look at. And it shows that there are 2 that need grading. Now the speed view gives him a list of all of the students at the top left and says who has submitted and who hasn't. Clicking on any of those students' names will load their submission. And you can see here it's going to give you a preview, and this happens to be a Word doc, a preview of that Word doc in the main screen. So Mark can simply type in a score and maybe give him a text comment. You'll notice that there is a comment along with the assignment from the student that says, looking forward to your feedback. This discussion area, which is attached only to this assignment and is private between the student and the teacher, is kind of a nice way to negotiate meaning and to really get to the heart of matters surrounding an assignment. But one of the cool things here is that if you've got a webcam and a mic, you don't have to limit yourself to a text comment. Mark, show us how we can do a video comment real quick.
This is a Flash Blaze recorder, so just so you know. There we go.
Oh, man.
There's Mark. So again, for certain classes, this is a great tool and is available in not just here, but also in assignments, quizzes, and also discussions. So just think of the possibilities that you can do with this tool.
See how good that is?
Look at the quality. High def there, totally all the way.
Now I think somebody did you lift up an iPad? Did you have an iPad there?
It's right there.
Yep. Mark has an iPad too, the lucky dog. You can do your grading through the speed grader on an iPad app, and we're going to hook that up real quick to show you what that's like.
You can get this little app that will do Instructure. Once you log into it just like you do Canvas. You'll have your list of courses right here. And so it's just for the speed grader part of it. But if I click the individual course, it's going to bring up all my assignments in my course. And then if I go to an individual assignment, it's going to bring up that same speed grader like we kind of saw in the web application.
I don't know how much you've used this, Mark, but I've heard some faculty say that the iPad interface is actually better than the web-based interface for the speed grader.
I like them both. They're the thing that it's in your iPad, so it's really nice. You can just sit there anywhere, on the bus. Like my bus has wireless, so. But I can just click right here. I can say, okay, there's the score.
Canvas also has a rubric tool, and you can attach a rubric to one or multiple assignments, so you can reuse rubrics. You can even reuse rubrics beyond a single course. So let's say there are some learning outcomes that your department or your program is setting, and you want to share rubrics. You can set that up as well. Now, Mark's been showing the speed grader for online assignment submissions. There are a number of different other ways that you can tweak student assignments. You can make groupings and make group assignments. You can require peer review, and Canvas will automatically redistribute student submissions to the rest of the class for review. And the students would use your same rubric as well. You can also do collaborative work with Google Docs. So I'm going to have Carlos show us that.
As a student, if you link your Google account to it, you can come to Collaborations, and instead of going into Google Docs itself and creating a document and then sharing it with your students manually, you can come here, and I'm logged in as a student, click on New Collaboration, name of document, I'll just put document, but really original here, and then select who I want to share it with. So I'm going to share it with everyone.
You don't have to collect Google accounts from your students. They don't have to collect them from their classmates. It's going to base this off of the Canvas enrollments. And if they have a Google account, great, it's going to sync it already. If they don't, it's going to send them an invitation.
Yep. So I'm just going to sign into my account. There's a document I've created. You can see in the list, there's an actual document already there that we created earlier. If I click into this, there's some information that I've put in. Mark's in there, he's actually put in some comments, and as well as multiple people can be working on this, and Google will actually keep a copy of all the changes that are there. So it's a really multifaceted tool, and it's great for collaboration and working in groups.
Yep. And when Carlos and his group are done working on their paper, they can submit it through one of the assignment tools. Mark may have set up an assignment specifically for this paper draft. Carlos would simply go into that assignment and choose that Google Doc. Well, that was just a quick demo of some of Canvas's features and how you would get around. Again, we are offering workshops every single week, Fridays 12 to 2 on the half hour if you just want to come in and get another overview, or more in-depth workshops throughout the semester. Check our website, uvu.edu/innovation.